Spoilers, offensive content. Two Fat Guys Talk, episode 101. The best of Two Fat Guys Talk. I am one of the titular fat guys, Carlos.
This is Dave, and I did not think we were doing episode 101, so this is a surprise to me.
For a while now, I've been gathering snippets to form a best of. We also have one straggler voicemail that didn't get answered during our episode 100, so I thought, let's do a quick intro for that best of. Let's answer that voicemail, and then we'll just let people listen to the best of Two Fat Guys Talk, the past 100 episodes.
Now, keep in mind, seeing as I wasn't involved in this is the best of in Carlos's mind, so you may be in trouble.
Dave, feel free to do something I know you will not do. Go through the past 100 episodes and tell me your candidates to be included.
Oh, fuck no.
Exactly. So without further ado, let's get to the voicemail we didn't get to in episode 100 because it came in, I think, the day after we recorded it.
My name's Jude. I just wanted to say congratulations on your 100th episode. Also, I really love the Breath of Fire series. I wish they'd make a new one. 4 is probably one of my favorite, traditional JRPGs. If you haven't played it, you should, because it's really good. But really, I'm just here to rant for a second about Dragon Quarter. It's really different from all the other games in the series, but it's still really good. Easily top 5 PS2 RPGs, hands down. But the whole timer and the save system had really bad PR and never really got explained well. Timer's not really even like a timer; it's just there to get in your head, and that worked kind of too well because it scared a lot of people away from playing the game. But it's also a really integral part of the story and whatever is why it's there. You can walk back and forth from the beginning of the game to the end 5 times without running out. It's not really an issue. That might be an exaggeration. You can walk at least 3 times. But anyway, the point is, it's a really good game, and the mechanics really are tight and pull everything together well. And it's a short, lengthwise game, so it's able to tell a shorter, more poignant story that is good. But anyway, sorry for the rant. Just wanted to say that Dave can't be the sexy voice of reason if he doesn't like it. And congratulations again on your 100th episode, and looking forward to see whatever you do next.
Hey, Jude. You made me mad. Really? Dragon Quarter being your top 5. What, did you buy 5 games for the PS2? No. Seriously. Thanks for the voicemail, dude. I played through Dragon Quarter all the way. I didn't like how it limited you to using your dragon form, just because that was one of my favorite things to do in the Breath of Fire games once you finally got access to it. So, and it was very different from Breath of Fire 3, which I'll give you, it threw me.
Breath of Fire 4, you mean? Because Dragon Quarter was the 5th one.
Yeah, I keep on... So, yeah.
4 was the one with Folu.
And I've never actually played that one.
It is super well animated.
Shit on it a bunch of times thinking it was Dragon Quarter, and I was wrong. So, no, it just 5... I skipped 4, obviously, from what I just said, but 5 just... It was very different, and it really wasn't what I was looking for in my Breath of Fire games. Even to the point where, in some ways, the mobile game that they brutalized was more of a Breath of Fire game to me than that. But it just... I appreciate you mentioning that a lot of people shed on the save system, because they made it so you couldn't back up your saves. Thanks, Capcom. And the timer did throw a lot of people. I kind of see Dragon Quarters being the first game in a long line of Capcom games that put in an arbitrary timer just to fuck with you.
I don't think the timer was arbitrary. Jude, you shouldn't listen to Dave. He clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. The Dragon Quarter is one of those games that I never really delved into because at the time that it came out, I was playing and doing other things. It's a game that I've enjoyed watching being played after the fact, and it's a game whose ambition I definitely appreciate. And here's the thing, I don't think the timer was arbitrary at all. I think it was very carefully planned. And the idea of the dragon powers needing to be limited is because if you were a fucking superstar, you could beat that game on your first try with careful use of your broken dragon powers more than any other Breath of Fire except maybe the first.
Nope, you're
Dragon
right.
power in Dragon Quarter is obscenely strong.
And you're right. It's not an arbitrary clock, just like the clocks in the Dead Rising series aren't arbitrary. It's more of a frustrating mechanic that I'd like to see die.
If you want to talk an arbitrary clock, let's talk about Rouge's vault level in Sonic Adventure 2, where they gave her 5 minutes, even though a first-time player probably needed more time. And then in the Shadow level after, they gave you 10 minutes for that one, when you could finish it in maybe 3.
Yeah.
They really should have swapped those timers. That's arbitrary time setting, as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. It's just... Yeah, no.
But you're allowed to dislike it. Look, how many things... I shit on Spirited Away all the time, and we know at least one listener who loves it, so...
So yeah, no, thanks for the feedback there, Jude. I mean...
And thank you for the well wishes about our 100th episode, and hopefully we're going to do more, because I think Dave wants to kill this.
Not necessarily. If we can find a focus for it, it's... In fact, your voicemail here has given me a couple ideas there, Jude. So,
maybe, wow,
maybe just maybe, we'll be able to do this more in a bite-size component.
We'll see. We have plans. I in the video I released before this podcast was released. Basically, I talked about how I'm in full-time work now. There's an adjustment period. We all have day jobs because this isn't our job yet. One day it will be, it's just not yet, so we'll figure stuff out, and even if it's not Two Fat Guys Talk, there'll still be content. Any more thoughts, Dave, before we get to the best ofs?
Well, as the voice of reason, I'm sure we're going to have lots of points that we're not being the voice of reason in these upcoming best of, because I've gone back and I've listened to some of our stuff, and we had some gold stuff, like our controller talk. There
will be some problematic talk.
Yes.
I don't think we were quite as progressive when we started this out. So fair warning right now, not all of the language and things we use and things we say are, let's say, kosher. I'm really cherry picking the stuff that's just funny. And that doesn't always mean, like, clean. But we're giving people a warning, and it's not like we're always 100%. I'm not using this term in a mocking way. It's not like we're always PC anyway.
Yeah.
Where we appreciate that people don't want to hear problematic things, and if you do, we won't blame you for not listening to us. We do sometimes say problematic things. So that's our disclaimer for that. With that said, here's the best ofs. So if Cartoon All-Stars Fight Drugs was made today, who would be in it, and what would be the drug?
The drug would be terrorism.
Uh-huh. So are you saying the Cartoon All-Stars are going to save a kid from a jihadist sympathizer training camp in Missouri?
Probably.
Okay, who are the Cartoon All-Stars involved?
Are we talking some sort of miraculous thing like what happened with Cartoon All-Stars?
Yeah, some crossover of what was popular at the time.
Then you'd have Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Which Spider-Man?
Probably the newest one.
Okay, that is the biggest cop-out in the world. You need to give me a specific Spider-Man.
I haven't watched any of the cartoons recently.
What about the Latino Spider-Man from Ultimate Spider-Man?
I'm not talking comics, I'm talking cartoons.
Okay, right now the Spider-Man show that they have right now is called Ultimate Spider-Man. It has nothing to do with the comic, and it's really bad. I always talk about how Teen Titans was all filler except for the parts that wasn't, and those parts were good. Ultimate Spider-Man is all filler all the time, unapologetically, and it's dumb.
Okay, so
the one before that was the good one, Spectacular Spider-Man.
Let's talk Spectacular Spider-Man then.
Sure.
That one, probably the Avengers from the cartoon movies.
Okay. Cartoon Avengers.
Superman, Batman from, again, the DC
Wow,
universe.
You really want to annihilate these Al-Qaeda terrorists, don't you?
They'll just throw magic or some sort of depowering thing in.
Let's make it clear. Originally, the villain was some drug dealer and drugs themselves, and the forces allied against him included the likes of Alvin, his brothers, the Muppet Babies, and I think the only true superhero in the bunch, Michelangelo, aka the worst Ninja Turtle. And here you are, it's like, okay, we need Spider-Man,
No, I'm
the
not
Avengers,
saying, I'm not saying
Superman, Goku, ow, my pinky.
they would grab whoever they could from what's on TV.
Imagine they grab Goku. It's like, drugs aren't cool. You know what is cool? Kamehameha! And then he starts blasting the shit out of some fucking drug dealers or Al-Qaeda terrorists.
I mean, that was a miracle at the time of how many licenses they managed to get together to do that cartoon. And there's not...
We have a fairly recent example of this, although it's very subtle, and that's in the Lego movie, when despite having Warner Brothers characters, they also managed to get Disney to give up having a Star Wars cameo in it.
That is true.
That is just about as Marvel meets DC as you're going to get in the next few years.
Yeah. No, actually, you're right. Lego is your best example, and frankly, we had a lot of characters show up in the Lego movie.
Yeah.
I mean...
every member of the Justice League.
Yep.
Star Wars characters.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, who else did show up? Now I'm having a hard time thinking of them. Were there, like, Bugs Bunny or other Warner Brothers type cartoons guys in there? I don't think there was.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, me neither. So, okay, so far, you have given these
in fact, I don't think that Looney Tunes has a Lego set at all.
Okay, so far, you have given the Al-Qaeda training camp reason to shit their pants, because now you've put up, like, the world's most dangerous superhero teams against them. Can we give them an edge of some kind?
Lex Luthor.
You could write a scenario where Lex Luthor is using Al-Qaeda sympathizers to train kids and somehow be like, well, what gain does he get from it? Shut up, that's why.
Or,
I'm okay with that.
What's his name?
Atomic Skull? Atomic Skull, no, Carlos?
No, one of the DC Universe movies where that guy who's lived for almost forever, something Savage?
Yeah. If Kiki was here, you know what she calls that guy all the time? Randall Savage.
Okay, here we go. Randall Savage and Lex Luthor.
So the Macho Man Randy Savage and Lex Luthor are going to... it's Vandal Savage, but I like Randy Savage better. Okay, so here's what we got so far. Randy Savage has descended from heaven, having taken it over, teamed up with Lex Luthor, and through magically enchanted Slim Jims, given the Al-Qaeda sympathizers superpowers, which they are using to recruit a young kid disenfranchised from home, and it is up to the Cartoon All-Stars to stop this. So far, the Cartoon All-Stars consist of Spider-Man, the Avengers, and the Justice League. Now, even though the deck is already stacked against Al-Qaeda, we need a few more cartoons in there.
I'm trying to think what cartoons are on. Oh, SpongeBob.
Of course! You gotta have SpongeBob, and since SpongeBob's there, we have to include David Hasselhoff.
Why?
Well, David Hasselhoff did appear in the SpongeBob movie, at least according to the trailers. I never actually saw the movie. The trailers had him in it, though. I really didn't. I don't know what happens in it. I just know that the trailer has David Hasselhoff in it. Plus, David Hasselhoff means this shit sells in Germany.
Okay. Do we bring in the Nazis? Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. We do need someone on Al-Qaeda's side. The Nazis are perfect. And the Red Skull.
Except this PSA would never be allowed to be shown in Germany.
No, shut the fuck up. Okay, so the Reds... All right. No, that's okay. That's okay, because Dave, I don't know if you know this or not, we're retarded and this is never going to get made, so that's okay.
Yeah, right? Oh, God, don't even get me started on this
time compression.
I love how when I was playing that game so many years ago, I never once questioned it. I was so in love with it. I mean, biased, I guess. First Final Fantasy game was 8. I don't really think that I'm biased because I played Symphonia as my first Tales game, and then I played Abyss afterward, and I ended up liking Abyss better, calling it my favorite. So I don't think that it was just by chance. I do really compare every other Final Fantasy I play to 8s and say, like, okay, was this better? and 10 comes extremely close, even though I agree that it is the better game in all intents and purposes. But a little off track. What I'm trying to get at is when I was playing 8, I was saying to myself, where did this come from? Why does this have to happen? Back when I was younger, I didn't question it once. But as I got older, I was just like, this just kind of came out of some which way. You know, I was just like, this just kind of came out. I was just like...
You mean
"Oh,
time
guys,
compression?
Time compression, I'm here. I'm just like, you know, I never questioned it. The first 3 playthroughs, I never questioned it. I'm like, oh, this flows together really well.
Yeah, this is the part where
like-
it's time compressed, you know?
Then I got smart, and then I looked at it, I was just like, holy shit.
How do you even write a summary of that? And then Ultimecia used an ancient spell to compress time into a single point. And then in the future, they beat her, even though time should have been compressed.
I'm pretty sure that included a bunch of bottles of vodka
Indeed, that probably
and many,
happened.
many sake.
Like, I was just so flabbergasted. And then I was kind of flabbergasted first at the game, and then I was more flabbergasted at myself for saying, like, at one point, oh, this was great writing at the time. Like, I didn't know any better. Like, it's fun to play these games when you're younger and then go back when you're older and understand them. Like, I don't know. It was just fun going back when you're older to play Chrono Trigger or Super Mario and the 7 Stars, or play these games that you thought you'd never touch again and just be like, oh, that's what they were really talking about.
You know, I
Stuff
have to
like
tell
that.
you, every
I got
Final Fantasy
insight.
since 7 did the time compression thing. 7, meteor, weapons. 8, time compression. 9, there's an entire other fucking planet. 10, it's your dad. 11, it's your dad. 12,
I love how we just stopped
it's
for
your
a
dad.
second. It's your dad. It's like, oh, shit.
We're recording? Okay.
And we're recording.
Okay, hang on.
Oh, am I not allowed to eat?
No, who cares?
Because I really want to munch and stuff.
We're so gonna get copyright strikes.
Shut up.
But it's so cute.
It's the 100th episode. We need something special. For once.
You chose Zelda 2?
It's a good game.
Just get error involved.
Colors is error.
All right. After 99 sunsets, 2 fat guys, Dave and Carlos, make to do 100th episode most well. Invite past guests and friends, Poe and Kiki, for glorious nationality. To make good the 100, Dave and Carlos employ tactics to make what in 2 fat guys? Indeed, quest for power is begin the starting. Furious love live on moistly. 2 fat guys talk. Episode 100. The Adventure's Fate.
Wow. Moistly. I'm surprised.
Greetings and salutations, folks, to episode 100. Yeah!
Yay!
2 fat guys talk.
Prediction. More people are going to leave WoW
No doubt.
in the dust.
Indeed.
Neither you nor I got Pandaria,
That's correct.
and this was a good thing.
we
left WoW, and it was good.
I still read up on the story things because I'm interested in how the war is going down. If my prediction that the factions are going to join at the end of Pandaria against the new playable Legion faction is going to come true, which is what's going to happen. And if Anduin Rin is going to get a honey, and if that honey is a panda, and they have freaky panda sex. Prediction, Carlos is going to weird out Dave.
Confirmed. You fucking weirdo.
You're just a fucking racist.
weird.
What the hell is wrong
Speciesist.
Here's the thing. Pandaren are a sentient humanoid species.
They're still a different species.
If I want to fuck a humanoid panda species' vagina, a consenting humanoid panda species' vagina, what the hell am I talking about? Prediction, Carlos doesn't know what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
David,
MMOs.
David, you do not want to fuck my daughter's panda pussy? Why, you know, fuck her panda pussy. What accent is that, Carlos?
Yours. Just yours.
Prediction, Carlos is going to feel great shame.
Yes. Confirm.
Now, onto this ridiculousness of people saying Dave is the voice of reason. There has now been 2 people who have said this, and this is 2 more than I find comfortable. This is alarming to me.
Why is that alarming?
That people find Dave reasonable, because I am the voice of reason.
You're not. You're obviously the sexy voice.
I am both things.
No, you are not. You
Nope.
can't be both.
Why not?
Because Dave won't have a job.
No, you can't do that.
This is alarming to me. There
love-
are so many times where on the Anime Raven we're arguing hard about something, and Dave's entire point is, I disagree, and I'm like, thanks. A good one, voice of reason.
I always say it in a reasonable way.
Yeah, in a reasonable way. I disagree, and then you fucking eat something or wander off and expect shit to happen.
Well,
Still, our fans have spoken,
2 people have said you're the voice of reason.
and I agree wholeheartedly with them.
I agree that I am the sexier voice. I have been told that my voice is soothing. I know that Kiki sometimes will listen to our Anime Rave and start to get sleepy.
I actually use it sometimes when I cannot fall asleep. Not because I don't love you guys, because I do love. Did you hear the way I said it? Dude, I love you guys. But because your voice is so soothing, I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable, and it's quite a familiar, wonderful voice. I can sleep now.
I've been told by people I should record those things that help people fall asleep. Like just soothing stories. Because I've been told by people who listen to like my story podcast that they're like, oh man, Carlos, I can't listen that long. Your voice is too soothing. I get sleepy. I'm like, that's not a compliment.
It is a compliment. Maybe you should read like the I don't want to say children's stories, but like Jack and Jill went up the hill.
But he just said he was reading off his story.
But say it sexily.
I'm not trying to turn people on if I'm trying to get them to sleep.
You
or
don't.
am I?
You might be. Do it right now.
Jack and Jill went up the hill. And oh boy, the times they had.
Oh my god.
Sexy times up that hill, rolling, naked, cavorting.
Oh dear.
Weren't Jack and Jill brother and sister in the old rhyme?
Why don't you shut the fuck up for a second and let me finish the story?
Oh my god. Well.
You're right, it is awesome.
Also awkward. I only discovered this like a couple years ago, but going back, no.
I was gonna say, like, what?
No. Besides Jack and Jill, besides the fact that Tim Allen's a criminal, that's
What?
He's not a criminal now. He served his time. When criminals
Jack and
serve
Jill.
their time.
Tim Allen from Home Improvement. His character's name was Jack. No. It was his wife was Jill, and her brother was named Jack. So he was like Jack and Jill. He was like went up the hill, and there was the laugh track.
Paul, is there a point to the
What?
story?
Sorry. I was about to say. I was getting to it. I always found it weird that, like, a couple of years ago, that I only discovered then that... Back to Babar for a second. I did not...
Where is this going?
I did not know that Babar's wife, Celeste, was actually his cousin.
Oh.
What?
It was some sort of revelation. I was like, oh my goodness.
You made
Babar,
me choke. What the fuck? I didn't do anything.
I want to hear what Dave thinks about this.
Yeah, voice of reason. What does this have to do with anything?
there was a reasonable trajectory to those thoughts.
What was it?
Why don't you eat my ass?
That'd be a crime.
Or are you insinuating that it's the daytime, I'm stoned, and you will just break the shit out of me?
You're an idiot.
I don't get what you're talking about. Why are you talking about Goliath? Like, what do you got against his character? It's a great character.
Oh.
He ended up owning Elisa Maza. Like, good job, bro. You're an inspiration. You're an inspiration to gargoyles everywhere that they too can hook up with some pussy of indecipherable racial origin. Really, what was she? Was she Spanish? Was she Asian?
Mexican, I thought.
She Mexican? Did Goliath get some Mexican tail?
Well, seeing as her dad was chosen by Coyote, the Coyote God, in season 2 or 3.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm talking in what...
Wait, why am I asking you that? Gargoyles got weird.
It did. No, literally, her dad was chosen by like the coyote god as a kid, and they had a whole episode based around them helping him out.
Is that before or after Goliath, Elisa, and Goliath's daughter, who we didn't know about,
During.
were taking a raft across the world?
During.
Okay.
What I like to refer to as the Smurfs season.
The Smurf season? Are you talking about that one weird arc with the time-traveling castle? That castle was a dick. It kept mocking them.
Or we could even go as far as saying the Scooby-Doo bad seasons, where they couldn't get back home.
You mean the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo?
There we go.
The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo is the ghettoest Scooby-Doo series ever made.
Yeah.
We killed Garrosh, or rather, he's not dead.
Yeah, Garrosh survived the assassination attempt and is trying to kill Poe as we speak.
So he's undead.
No, he's a political prisoner.
French?
What the hell does that even mean?
It means
What
after
do you mean?
It means after he got beat, he got jailed and is now somewhere in Pandaria.
So he turned French for being in jail?
That's what Dave thinks.
What the fuck?
/ facepalm. In like this one quest where you poke around in the time ways, he's like in the Temple of the White Tiger. He's all jailed and stuff, like with a special lock that he can't break out of.
So he's fucking Napoleon. I was right.
You thought he was Napoleon? Napoleon's not French. I'm so
Yes, he
confused.
is.
Napoleon's totally French.
Is he
No.
really? Am I remembering? Wait, no. I'm thinking of. No, I'm.
See, the reason you don't think Napoleon is French is because he succeeded.
Oh.
Napoleon's totally French, by the way, people.
No, I'm thinking of the other guy.
I always thought he was Welsh.
No, I was. Do you know who the guy? Oh, fuck it, never mind.
No. I need to know. What guy?
I think I was thinking of Christopher Columbus, but I know Christopher Columbus is not French. My mind was just, I don't know where my mind was.
Christopher Columbus didn't try to take over France as emperor, and he was Spanish.
I said I know he's not French.
Portuguese will claim that Christopher Columbus is Portuguese. Because that's technically correct, and that's the only thing us Portuguese kind of, claim to fame.
Yeah, he is Portuguese, if I recall correctly, and the Portuguese king was just like, you're not going to go anywhere. Go ask the Spanish king. And the Spanish king was like, yeah, sure, go. Here's our boat.
I've always thought this flat Earth theory sounded retarded.
That king that said no must be kicking himself right now.
I'm pretty sure he's not kicking anything.
The bucket.
So the Nazis, led by the Red Skull, teamed up with Al-Qaeda sympathizers. Getting help by
Lex Luthor.
And a descended demonic Randy Savage from heaven, who is also being helped by Chris Benoit, because Chris Benoit is a monster, are trying to recruit a boy that the Cartoon All-Stars need to help. Cartoon All-Stars are Spider-Man Avengers, the Justice League,
SpongeBob, Dora.
SquarePants, Dora the Explorer, Diego. We have to have Diego if Dora's there.
Okay.
Diego is basically male Dora.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he explores.
The Avatar characters.
Yeah, we gotta have Korra.
We gotta have Nickelodeon in there.
Gotta have Nickelodeon. We already have SpongeBob to represent them, but Korra can be in there too. So Korra. I was about to call her Legend of Korra.
Or because, they wouldn't grab Aang or Korra, we could throw in Sokka.
We can throw in Sokka. I'm okay with Sokka. I'm okay with Korra and Sokka being our representatives, as long as he gets Space Sword back and has Boomerang again. Because we've really we're getting a decent amount of people here. Should we throw Goku in there?
I don't think really any anime would make it in. But you know who would make it in? What was that Lego weird shit that they made the cartoons around? Beast Guys. We were always making fun of it because they were doing more of those shows rather than the DC Universe.
GoBots?
No, not GoBots.
Teen Titans?
No, it was...
Oh, you mean the Lion?
Yes.
Yeah, and they had the commercials
Yes.
for DC shows. No, we're not putting him in there, Dave.
They'd make it in there.
Dave, don't be silly.
Put him
okay?
in. Put him in Al Qaeda's side.
We're having a rational conversation here about this, and you want to mess it up with some Lego fucking lions?
It wasn't Lego. Well, no, actually, it wasn't.
I think they were Lego. I think it was actually official Lego licensed brand.
Yeah, it was.
Are you sure we can't throw Goku in there? Because if we throw Goku in there, we can put Perfect Cell or Frieza on the other side.
No, we should. No.
No, we can't throw Ryuko in there.
No.
And then Ragyo is helping the Nazis!
Oh, my head.
Plus, if we put Ryuko in there, this really isn't airing. Because if Ryuko is in there, and fucking Trigger has any say, all these characters are going to be buck naked before this thing is done.
Yeah.
And I don't need to see Superman's junk. Sorry, I'm sure it's spectacular, but I don't need to see it. Okay, so far we have a pretty formidable fight. Okay, so how does this start? We're introduced to this kid, and maybe he's talking to, maybe he's an outcast from school, and some other kid who turns out is, some supervillain in disguise, maybe Mystique, approaches him and says, have you ever wondered if capitalism and the American dream has failed you?
Why don't you just give the kids superpowers that are starting to come to the front, and whether he's going to choose good or evil?
Yeah, but the thing is, since there's magical Slim Jim that is going to give him powers, maybe he consumes it, and then eventually, because he realizes that Randy Savage is evil, he ends up helping the Cartoon All-Stars.
God, this is stupid.
So, speak for yourself. I'm liking where this is going. So
this is like the ghettoest fucking fanfic ever.
If Ghetto, have you listened to what we've come up with? Well, there are going to be people listening to this at fucking Warner Brothers going, make this shit happen. Gary, listen to this podcast and don't even call me back until this can happen. And then they're like, how the hell did you get this number? And then I'll yell into the phone, shut up! So, okay. So, I like your idea about him eating the Slim Jim and getting powers. I also like your idea about Goku being in there. So, what happens... okay. So, the kid's being taken, okay? And this attracts the attention of Martian Manhunter, who is also in the school in
Who
disguise.
is the teacher?
Yeah, he's the teacher. Good call. So that's when he calls the Justice League, okay? Who are having dinner with the Avengers at the time. And they discuss, the goings-on.
How does Thanos fit into all this?
Hang on, we're getting to Thanos. We're getting to the gauntlet. This is a big key in our new Cartoon All-Stars movement. So, this kid is by the beach because he's thinking about using his newfound powers in the name of Allah. And then SpongeBob comes from the sea and is like, hey, buddy, you really don't want to help them, do you? They don't believe in women's rights, or something like that, right? And then the kid's like, no, that's not all. There are moderates. And he's like, are you trying to be a moderate? And that's when there's doubt sowed, so that the kid can go and help the giant battle that's taking place in the city behind them.
I know how eager you all are for a good tale before bedtime, but what I will regale you tonight, children, and for the next few nights onward, is none other than the darkest chapter of our family history. A history I shared with our good friend, Bash the Stampede. Thus, children, we begin with the passing of our family's most trustworthy friend, Lord Mammothwood. One sun-parched day, during my youth so long ago, our palatial grounds were met with the footsteps of 100 of King Retaxis's rhino soldiers, more than ready to besiege the palace and remove all heirs of the Elephant Kingdom by force. I watched only as dear Mammothwood paid little mind to the clear windows or the veranda, stating that he would clear up the rubble after he had finished, and had sortied with Retaxis's men single-handedly. He may have been a mammoth, children, but he was a force to be reckoned with. The soldiers he hadn't felled with his mighty trunk or pristine tusks would run from the battle. They would curse our name unceasingly, but they would be alive, and far luckier than their comrades. As for King Retaxus himself, mortally wounded, with his sons surviving, and ensuring that their hatred for elephant kind would remain intact throughout the years. Lord Mammothwood would turn and look to me, his trunk caressing the small crucifix that Lady Meryl Strife bestowed upon him. Always the assurance that all was well. But then, it happened. Despite all warnings, I hurried as fast as I could from the palace to see what was the matter.
Why is this happening?
But it was too late, children. A flash of light, and Lord Mammothwood, the solitary member of his race, had died on his feet. And the cause of it all, the one who stole my oldest friend from me. He was standing there. The Blood Count, Duke Dagger's Mastodon. Dagger's fucking Mastodon. With his deed done, he turned his back to me and walked away with not so much as a single word. He was mocking me, children. Mocking our family, our friends, challenging me.
I'm crying.
To avenge Lord Mammothwood, I would take that challenge.
Oh.
After all, an elephant never forgets to kill. But those will be tales for another night. Come, children, time for bed.
So you know what we are doing?
This is
Gem!
This is gonna be very one-sided.
Gem is excitement! Ooh, Gem!
Go ahead.
Glamour and glitter! Is anybody else here? Is anybody sleeping?
No.
Fashion and fame! Alright.
How would you do it, Carlos? Because I have no fucking clue.
Well, let's brainstorm this. So, what would you say is the best part of the original cartoon?
I didn't watch it.
Okay, Dave, don't be a fucking liar, okay? Look, Darth Vader could not accept what he was.
Look.
Kenshin could not accept what he was.
Sailor Moon?
You have to...
Sure, I can admit I watched.
You have
Gem, I didn't have cable back then.
You have to accept what you are, okay?
Oh,
What
for
did you
fuck's
like
sakes.
the most out of Gem?
The fact it wasn't on my channels.
Okay, so here's the thing about the original Gem cartoon. Alright, it's...
I know the premise. She was basically a magical girl who went from being a young girl to being an adult who can sing.
She went from being a scuzzy, immature adult to being a scuzzy rock star, basically. The best thing about the original cartoon was the fact that the evil band, the Misfits, were often way, way cooler than Gem and the Holograms, her band. And the fact that, because there were songs in the show, if you remember,
This I know.
if you remember the nostalgia chicks critique of the show.
Look, I didn't watch the show, but throughout the years, I may have caught one
You
episode.
may have caught one.
No, like
I may have
a
sought out the
complete
series.
episode may have been in there somewhere. So I at least know the premise.
This denial I am hearing here.
And wasn't there some guy that she liked?
Yeah, he was a shitlord. And,
Why?
because he liked, here's why, because he thought Jerica was like, not
Who
worth his
was?
time. Jerica was Gem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's Serena. He thought, so this guy was kind of like Tuxedo Mask, just not as rapey.
Ooh.
So this guy, I don't even remember his name, okay? All I know is that he didn't think Jericho was anything special, but he was in love with Gem.
Okay.
And Jericho was okay with that because, I don't know. And he was a shitlord.
Because 80s love story.
So there were songs in the show, and often the Misfits songs were, because this was supposed to be like, okay, it was, they argued it was for girls, but it had a lot in common with other 80s boys cartoons. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
The Misfits songs were often about female empowerment and being independent and being capable and being able to do what they wanted in the world. The only thing that made the
And
Misfits...
being criminals, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Misfits would have been super awesome feminist icons if it was for all the attempted murder.
Okay.
the hologram songs were generally about looking pretty, fashion, impressing boys, and occasionally dabbling into empowering girls.
Okay.
So, there's a gem in the holograms movie we made by
Yes.
some of the people involved with the G.I. Joe movie, which was okay. How I would do Gem and the Holograms, and I'm not going to take too much time, because I know that I kind of sideswiped you with this one. And I told this to a friend of the show, Kiki, when we were discussing it. I would like to make it so that, much like Starship Troopers, there was an undercurrent of a real message behind it. Because Starship Troopers seems like the quintessential action flick, but the undercurrent behind everything is that humanity is scum. Even when facing horrible monsters, humanity is scum.
Humanity was the monsters because they caused everything.
Well, I used to believe that humanity was the real villain of the film, and you used to believe that, no, they didn't do anything wrong, and I think we've both kind of settled in the middle. I'm now more like, yeah, the bugs were pretty monstrous, but humanity wasn't exactly great either. It was trying to show that conflict is ugly no matter what form it takes, I think. I don't know if that's how you feel then. I won't speak for you then.
Humanity was the bugs weren't the ones invading. The bugs weren't the ones actually doing the war. It was literally humanity always encroaching on their territory, trying to take their territory.
Sure.
And the bugs fighting back and trying to survive.
And war was ugly because then the bugs...
I'd say the worst thing the bugs did is that meteor. If they hadn't done the meteor, then open war never would have happened.
Well, I would argue, yeah, the humans provoked the bugs.
That was their nuclear bomb.
Sure, the humans provoked the bugs, but then the bugs committed atrocities too. I remember the brain bug. Like, that was an atrocious thing. It did not need to do that to their soldiers. Anywho.
Gem.
How I would make it is that I would make it initially on the surface seem like Gem and the holograms were the heroes, but secretly it's the misfits that are doing all the rights in the movie. And any critical analysis of the film would reveal that the misfits are actually the heroes. That's how I would do the Gem movie.
Okay.
Either that, or if a producer says, no, that's too deep, we want to make it a little simple. Despite the fact that I like the misfits, I kind of like the idea of making them a boy band led by Justin Timberlake. Now tell me you wouldn't have fun seeing Justin Timberlake playing the head of an evil boy band called the Misfits.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's not much to Gem, really. So I would do Gem in one of those two ways. How would you do Gem?
Well, based on my limited knowledge of it.
Again, with all your lies.
Well, you could do kind of the idea behind like the TV show Ugly Betty.
I've never seen Ugly Betty.
I haven't watched the actual show, but I know the concept behind it, or what I think the concept is. But I that's what I would do. Is I would have a girl who finds herself not too attractive.
I've seen pictures of the supposedly Ugly Betty. She's pretty hot.
Getting all dolled up and having
I would rub my cock all over her thighs with her permission, with her consent.
Then becoming part of a rock band, getting all dolled up, but there would be really no message. It would just be a fluff piece, like I think the actual movie's going to be. I don't think the movie's going to be very good.
Maybe not. You never know. There have been good movies about musicians. I can think
my biggest worry.
I can think of one good movie that was based around bands. Rockstar with what's his face?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. No, Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
Because he drew from his experience as Marky Mark and all that shit. And no, that movie was really fucking good. It had Mark Wahlberg, Jennifer Aniston. It was about a guy who's playing the cover band for Steel Dragon, which was a fictional Metallica-style band.
Okay.
And then eventually, because their singer quit or got fired, and this Mark Wahlberg's character got recruited to be the lead singer because on the cover bands he was always able to emulate that guy perfectly. And then he became a big rock star, but with it came the fame and the drugs and the descent into
Justin Bieberism.
Well, not quite Justin Bieberism. Well, maybe kind of like just like Hotel California. It was a descent into excess, into hubris, and eventually the movie ends with him up and quitting, becoming an independent musician like he secretly always wanted to be, and getting back with Jennifer Aniston, who had long left the life. It was a really good movie. I recommend it to anyone. And after the credits, Mark Wahlberg he does a few outtakes where he's pretending to be Marky Mark in Steel Dragon. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
So that's the one good band movie. Please continue.
I don't have much more to say.
Would you have Jem fighting supervillains? Sometimes she would. No, Carlos. She.
I guess you could actually turn a movie like that into almost like a James Bond-ish sort of idea,
where Jem and the Holograms are a band, but they're secretly a cover for Secret Agent Jerrica and her friends.
Yeah.
You could do that in a fun Charlie's Angels kind of vein.
Yes.
Somebody call John August and get him to write that up. Kiki, sound off.
Moo moo. Moo moo.
Moo. Moo.
Moo moo.
Moo.
Momo.
Momo. Momo.
Momo.
No, Triple Triad isn't good enough to whip my ass.
Hang on, let me find the Triple Triad theme for
Dude, I will.
For those of you who can't see, because this is an audio podcast, Dave has this like revolver Nerf gun that he's aiming at me, and his threat to stop me from playing the Triple Triad theme is soft foam darts. So let me just go find it. Actually, that'll get us a copyright hit.
What, mentioning Nerf?
No, playing the stupid Triple Triad theme. It's still used in Final Fantasy XIV, so...
Yes, it is.
So I'll just hum it. No, don't shoot me! Don't! There's soft foam! Stop it! Your gun sucks. Wow, that hit me right in the penis and I felt nothing. Oh, that was a good shot. Why do you have mismatching colors on these? Stop shooting me! This is bottom of the barrel for this podcast now, eh? Folks, you want to listen to Dave shooting at me with Nerf gun? Not even watch. Just listen to it. This is what we hope will one day get popular. Just want you to know that. People are going to be like, oh man, I need to watch my daily gamut of internet people. Game Grumps. Best Friend Zaibatsu, Angry Joe, Angry Video Game Nerd, and two fat fucks shooting Nerf guns at each other, audio only. I predicted that the next WoW expansion would be the Alliance and the Horde joining forces against a playable Legion faction, and that Anduin Rin was going to romance a Pandaren chick and fuck her panda pussy. Now, none of these things happened. Although they tie into my next two predictions that I would weird out Dave with the panda pussy.
Yep.
And that I would feel great shame. So no panda pussy for Carlos. Well, this is an interesting question. Rowan asked a few things. First of all, when we're going to be a Disney-branded podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Disney, by the way. I just got the news. We have been purchased by Disney. We are now an official voice of Disney.
Well,
Cocks, vagina, rim jobs.
We're no longer.
I don't know how you did this, boys. You fucked up. You fucked up big time. Huh?
Yeah, Rowan, to be honest, we swear too much.
that's it. We swear too much.
That's pretty much it. Disney will not want us to be officials.
I always come back to this, two words, a panda, a pussy, which... killed it there. I think that was the point when I realized we will never be anything but crude.
I don't know what you it's like arguing which do you want, panda pussy or void out fuckboy cock.
Well, that's a very wild joke and also horrible.
Yeah.
So, the Cardcaptor Sakura in the Marvel Cinematic Universe makes me think that I've been kind of toying around with podcasts that I want to do and whether or not I want to do one on my own or with Dave. And I'm going to call it the Untitled Crossover Podcast, where every episode is basically someone brings up a crossover idea and it's up to me and Dave, depending on how this goes, to make it happen. So I think we should do a test episode 0 in this podcast right now of the Untitled Crossover Podcast. That's not the official title, I just haven't thought of one. Let's cross over Cardcaptor Sakura with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Bonus points if you manage to somehow have Sakura and Tomoyo use the aliases Sakura Avalon and Madison Taylor.
Easy. You just have to get Robert Downey Jr. involved.
Uh-huh.
Because Iron Man is, just like how he heard about good things about Spider-Man, he has heard about this little girl who uncovered this book, and he wants to make sure she is on his side to do good so that no one's manipulating this child.
So do you think that her superhero name is Sakura Avalon? Or just Avalon?
It would be Sakura Avalon because tomorrow, since she's using the Sakura cards, she still wants to keep with that. They would, well, if they're the clear cards after that, they'd be you could go with the Avalon.
You could. I was just thinking it'd be kind of neat if in this universe Sakura is like one of those idols, but she's popular the world over. But Sakura Kinomoto is her real name, and her idol name is Sakura Avalon, is kind of the nod to the dub name. And her manager is Tomoyo, but she uses the alias of Madison Taylor.
That's amazing.
And her boyfriend Shoran Lee, his alias is Lee Shoran.
That's the loosest one.
No,
Oh my
it's
God.
Lee Showron.
Yeah,
like,
Showron, like SHOW.
yeah.
Back in our place, we still have the Cardcaptor Sakura trading card
We
game.
just found that recently. We're like, whoa, why do we even have this? How do you play?
The teacher's name, her dumb name, I just remembered, her name was Layla McKenzie.
Oh, that has to be worked into the crossover somehow.
She's working for Doctor Strange.
She's working for...
She's
Doctor Strange is the obvious mentor for Sakura.
That's just what I was going to say. Doctor Strange would pop up in Japan looking for powerful magic users, and he would bring on both Lee and Sakura, and to hide from what country they come from, she could be Sakura of Avalon.
Oh
my god. Yeah, that works. But here's the thing. How do we marry the idea of cute little Sakura fighting Dormammu? Dormammu is well above any villain she's ever had to
That's
fight.
very easy now with the clear cards.
Yeah.
The clear cards are offensive cards.
That's right, and you see how they're mechanical and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
But if we need a
turning her into a warrior.
If we need a warm-up boss, she could practice on Baron Mordo.
Oh, fuck,
Oh
anyone
my
can
god,
practice
and
on
since
Baron
they're so
Mordo.
mechanical, oh my god. That's why is that working?
So between Doctor Strange
and Iron Man,
Iron
who are her
Man,
mentors,
as well as Scarlet Witch, how much magic teacher potential do you have? Because you even have the whole, if she gets pissed off with Stark and his group, she can go and learn under the Scarlet Witch under Cap's team.
You want Sakura to join the Avengers?
Oh my god.
Why not?
Wow, what good best ofs, Dave. Dave, you just sat there listening to those all. What did you think of them?
Amazing.
Fantastic best ofs. I especially like the one where insert which one you liked here. What about you?
Oh, absolutely. And how about that one that that was great.
Yeah, I agree. Anywho, folks, animerave.xyz or twofatguystalk.com. With either URL leads to the same page. It leads to our page where you can listen to more episodes of Two Fat Guys Talk, the podcast, and watch our anime review show, Carlos and Dave Anime Rave, the best anime review action show on the internet. For Dave, my name is Carlos, saying farewell.
Tune in next time.
Bye.
If there is one.
No.